Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today I am going to share something that I'm actually processing still. So again, I'm just going to share from what I'm trying to process or have been processing for a few days now. A couple of days ago, we had the amazing privilege of visiting the JPL facilities here in Pasadena, and it was just such an amazing experience. But I think that part of what I saw, and I would almost say it was like an encounter, a God encounter while I was there taking the tour. I feel like part of it has to do with the fact that I know that I am in a relationship with a God who is real, who is living, and who constantly, like every day, reveals himself through everything. I mean, literally everything. But see, I'm positioned now to want to seek that out. And that's what I've been processing, I guess. But the tour was amazing. And the more, that I was hearing, there was a video presentation, and then we toured some of the facilities. We even got to visit the mission. Well, it's not mission control. That's not what it's called. But it's that one little room where we often see in movies where everyone's sitting in this, little room behind this glass window, and they're talking and they're communicating. So I literally felt the presence of God while we were listening to the tour guide, give us the information, as I watched the video, having to do with the planets and all the rovers that they're sending out and the missions. And again, I felt like it was, everything just was a revelation of God's goodness and his love and his, just how vast, and amazing he is. And I feel like it's a product of knowing and having a relationship with a God who is alive, a God who is real, a God who loves. And I also think that it has to do with being open to wanting to see God in every space, that is around us, because he wants to reveal himself that way. He constantly reveals himself, and he'll reveal himself through science. I know a lot of Christians are like, oh, they don't like science. Like, oh, they're really, really weary of science. And he reveals himself through creativity and through entertainment. And again, these are places that sometimes believers are just, they put all these red flags, and they just see darkness in a lot of these things. And I've come to a conclusion that, we're going to filter everything we're seeing through the relationship that we have with God. If we have a relationship with a God who is good, and a God who is amazing and real and loving, and he's a creative, like he's the original creative, then that's the lens we're going to see everything through, because that's how he reveals himself. And if we are, in a relationship with a God that we fear, a God we don't know, which is what I spoke about last week, a God who is mean and angry and judging and, just not a friend, but actually like we just serve him, then everything is going to be, covered in or filtered through this cloud of darkness. And I felt like that was important to share, because how we view everything around us really has to do with the relationship that we have with the Lord. He makes himself known through everything. He makes himself known through movies, through music. Our little family here, we have movie night every week, once once a week. We look forward to like summertime or something like that, where Daniela gets to have a few more days off, and so sometimes we catch a couple of movies a week when we have time and when we can. But it never fails where we often are left in tears. We watch, these movies that maybe people will look at and say, I didn't get anything out of it. And we are like, oh my goodness, we encountered God through that. We're in tears and we're like, wow, and again, I think it's because we see God reveal himself even through movies. Sometimes I'm listening to music, and I do have to say this. Sometimes it's, worship. Yeah, of course, worship music, and I'm, having my meditation time, and I'm listening, and I get deeply touched, right? But sometimes it's not, sometimes it's dance music, and sometimes it's, just secular music, and I am hit with just an encounter, with God, because he's real, and because I filter everything, or at least I try. I don't always do it, but I'm trying more and more each day. I want to filter everything around me through his life, through his experience, through who he is in me, through the relationship, and the life that I have and that he is in me. And so when I do that, when I position my heart that way, then, movies and songs and food and JPL and science, and exploration of the universe becomes a revelation of his vastness, of his goodness, of his intense and immense desire to connect with us. That's really what I came away from after touring JPL, that as much as we want to explore and we want to know what's there, it comes from this foundation that was placed in us, this desire that was placed in us by God to seek out and to hunger for that connection with something that is unknown. And like I said last week, and we think he's unknowable, and so we're in pursuit of this unknowable God, and yet he reveals himself, and he's looking, and I almost saw him in a certain way. I saw him doing the same thing we're trying to do. We're sending these rovers out, and I feel like he's doing the same thing, our way, coming to earth. He's like, I want to know you, I am seeking you, I am searching for you. And so it was just, again, a wonderful time of encountering him. And I saw the just the ingenuity and these scientists, sitting there working on things, and the creativity, and I could just go on and on. But I guess what I would like to invite us to is to look at the Lord, to look at our relationship in a way that causes us to see him everywhere, to seek out, his revelation, a revelation of who he is in everything. And that we would, instead of being afraid of things, like science. And again, the reason I keep saying that is because it's there. I know that a lot of Christians are just, they deny science, and they don't want to embrace science. And I just I'm in awe of why. Because the more that you read about science, the more that God becomes so clear and so real to us. And so I want to invite us to experience God in the places where maybe the enemy has been lying to us, in the places where the enemy has been actually trying to make it look like, oh, we can't go there. We can't go to those spaces because God isn't there. And I want to propose today that God is everywhere. And if we are open to it, and if our hearts are open, and if we're seeking, he will reveal himself everywhere. And he's seeking us out. And he wants that relationship with us. He wants a vibrant, living relationship. And so I want to pray that we would open ourselves up to that. So Holy Spirit, I declare today that we will hunger for that kind of relationship with you, that we are going to seek out, even in places where we feel like maybe, no, that's dark. That's not. Well, that's where your light is going to shine even brighter. I pray and I declare that we would have a revelation of your goodness everywhere and through everything that we experience. And that as we see you being revealed around us, that we would also see you being revealed through us, so that we can then turn around and bring that light and bring that revelation to those that are around us who may not know you, who may not even understand. And I'm, Lord, including even believers who have yet to understand your goodness and the revelation that you desire for us. So I ask this in your name, Jesus, and I'm excited. I'm so excited about the revelation that it's going to be hitting some of us who are going to be open to it. I pray you have an awesome week, and I will see you soon.